Hi everybody and welcome back to Fleetwood in Focus, and tonight I attended the North Euston Hotel Fleetwood Town Council meeting where more than 45 minutes of time was given to the attendee to discuss the current issues with the Jameson Road landfill saga, which has been going on now for a few weeks. The smells, the odours in and around Fleetwood and the surrounding areas. Now, I have to say, the one thing that came out of the meeting was the passion and the love of the town by its residents here. And in all fairness to Fleetwood Town Council, they facilitated fantastically. You know, they listened, they gave plenty of time for people to air their concerns. The other issue that came out, really, to be honest with you, was the lack of communication from above, Lancashire County Council, Wyre Borough Council. You know, when we're talking about an issue that concerns specifically Fleetwood, you know, these councils need to be communicating with Fleetwood Town Council, because they, at the end of the day, are the people that go back to Wyre, go back to Lancashire and vent our concerns. And, you know, if they're kept in the dark, well, you know, how are they supposed to relay the information to Fleetwood folks? So I think that was one big thing that really came out of the meeting tonight. Now, the video itself is over an hour long, so basically what you need to do is forward past it, rewind it, depending on which particular part of the video you want to watch. But it's all there for you guys, and hopefully it will help, especially the people that were unable to attend tonight, to actually feel and become involved in the conversation. So there you go, guys. I'll leave you to it.
Good evening everybody, I'm going to call the meeting to order, thank you very much. Before I get started, a bit of housekeeping. If there's a fire alarm, it is a fire, because there's no practices going on tonight, so please follow the signs to the exit. And tonight's meeting is being recorded, so if everybody's alright with that, then it can carry on recording. If not, do say so now and we'll stop the recording. Is everybody okay with that? Yeah. And I'm Cheryl Rayner, I'm the chair of the town council. The rest of the councillors are all here, and Irene's our clerk, for those that don't know who we are. We'll have speakers at public participation, but we've got the council stuff to get through first, and then we have two sections of public participation. The first one, we've got the speakers. The second one, anybody can speak if you want. I do try and limit it to 20 minutes, otherwise we'll be here all night. But if I feel that everybody's got something important to say, then I will let you speak. Yeah. Oh, and thank you, Mary. Can everybody make sure your phones are on silent? There's nothing worse than ringing your phone when you're halfway through a conversation. So next we've got Jess Brown from the.
Yay!
Do you want to stand up or come up, whatever you feel comfortable doing?
You can do, you're welcome to. Oh, if you turn round, face the audience.
You don't have to look at us.
Yeah, this is about the smell from the landfill site, and I just did want to start off by saying we've had a member from our group has done an air sample close to the site, and it has come back higher than average H2S in the balloon sample. Obviously, we know this can't be taken, but this is just for people's information. Their test went grey, which is above average and potentially harmful. They will follow up with further tests.
Thank you.
Come on, Shiz. Hi, I'm Jess. I wanted to say a big thank you for giving me the opportunity to speak. I started the group Action Against the Smell in Fleetwood because I kept seeing posts on social media on how it is affecting people. We now have a great team of admin, Neil, Scott and Mary, who's a Fleetwood Town Councillor. Fleetwood Town Councillors have been really helpful, and members on social media. I want to say a big thanks to everybody who has contributed and supported us. We're all fighting the same thing. And it's not just Fleetwood, it has spread to Thornton, Cleveland, Knott End, Pilling, Breezel, Hambleton, Rossall and Ankersholme. The group has grown to 1.1k members in 3 weeks, which shows just how many people are affected. Having seen someone close to me be affected in a big way. It's like waiting for a ticking time bomb to go off. It's awful to see this. It's had a big impact on my mental health also. My daughter is suffering with that asthma and thinking, what is it doing to her and other children? The long-term effects, it is literally heartbreaking for so many. We are fed up of it being swept under the rug. We aren't getting any real answers. I mean, what is going on over there? Why haven't we been told what is in the air and what is being released? We need answers. I know firsthand how it's affecting my 65-year-old mum who has severe COPD. I have some words straight from her and also from other people and businesses I have spoken to. This is from my mum. I have severe COPD and I find the smell affects my breathing a lot. I have had increased chest infections lasting longer than usual since this began. When I go to bed at night with all the windows closed, I wake up with the smell in my room and I wake up choking. It is really scary. It affects me going out because you never know where the stink is going to be. It makes me feel sick and I get headaches. It was bad enough being stuck indoors with COVID for months and now I'm scared to go out again. It's having a big impact on my mental health. Getting out in the sea air is good for me. It's not right. I'm a prisoner in my own home again. And I know there are a lot of other people like me too. This is from Janine Pillin, who lives in Thornton. I'm disabled and have chronic and progressive illnesses, fibromyalgia and COPD, emphysema. I used to enjoy visiting the nature reserve at the end of Jameson Road when my husband drove me there. I can't do this anymore as the stench and the methane is really affecting my breathing. Even when I wear my mask, it still affects me. My condition has recently changed to a higher stage even though I live near the coast. According to my pulmonary rehabilitation nurses, should have not progressed at such a rate, as I was doing everything in my power to help keep it at bay, walking in the fresh air and not smoking, vaping or using aerosols. I cannot go out if the wind blows in the direction of my house. I have to attend appointments in Fleetwood regularly, and when the scent is particularly bad, I'm poorly when I return. I haven't been able to visit the nature reserve at all, and if we have to take anything to the tip, my husband has to do it alone. I really believe this issue has made my health worse. I just can't breathe it in. It's killing me. Depression is terrible because I'm not able to get fresh air and watch the beautiful crested grebes and they're young anymore. I think methane affects mental health too. My quality of life is poor and I'm feeling like a prisoner in my own home. I can't even potter in my own backyard and tend to my pots and I have to keep the window shut. I beg you to do something about this. I also spoke to a lady who lives on Broadwater Caravan Park. It's so close to the landfill. Her daughter shared this with me. My mum has breathing problems. The smell has caused violent headache and caused her breathing problems. She's having to use her inhaler more. She is unable to get out. It's also making her dizzy. She's rung up and complained a lot. It's also making her feel sick and making her feel really uncomfortable. I also spoke to a local business owner who owns a nursery. This is from her. I have now seen an 18% drop in attendance. We follow up all absences with a phone call, and 80% is due to parents feeling ill or not wanting to walk their children to nursery because of the smell. This is causing a huge impact on children learning and development. We are unable to leave our bifold doors open because the smell gets in and it makes the staff feel sick, give them headaches, etc. This has resulted in staff going home and us being short-staffed. The impact on business is huge and detrimental for staff, children and parents. Here are some stats from 4 days after the first report of the smell. Week 1, 6% drop. Week 2, 8% drop. Week 3, 10% drop. Week 4, 18% drop. And some children are still off in week 4. This is from me. How can you actually sleep at night, trans waste, knowing that you are having this sort of impact on people? Is it because of the money? I bet if this was happening to someone you love, you would care. But here we are. There was a poll done on our group which concluded on the 19th of the 3rd, 24, with 1.3k votes on how it's affecting people. They all got to vote for a certain thing. The results were headaches 8%, sore throats and runny nose, 6% sickness, 9% breathing difficulties, 4% mental health issues, 1% flies, 7% children can't play in the garden, 3% fear for family and children's health, 7% sleep, 3% disease, vermin 6%, no one cares 8%, nasal irritation, nosebleeds 3%. I did another poll with 237 votes. This was the question: are you feeling the smell is getting worse, better, or the same? Worse was 92%, the same 6%, and just better, just 2 people said it wasn't. It didn't even add up to 1%. So maybe we could all be listened to more as a community. We are really fed up with being fobbed off and want to be listened to. This has been covered on BBC, North West News, numerous papers and a radio station. We sometimes have trans waste trolls in our group. It's not a very professional look. Trans Waste is a company that has been in trouble before. You can find this on Google. They claim to do good for the environment but release goodness knows what into the air. I think their actions speak for themselves. Fleetwood is a town with high suicide rates and known to be quite a deprived town. What is this doing to people's mental health? What is it doing to the local businesses? It's having a detrimental effect on them. As people will stop coming to them, it's already happening. People will stay away or stay in. People will stop going out shopping and for meals. House sales will be affected, and even pets. It's having such a wide effect. The nature reserve is right next to the landfill, and we're just coming into spring. Birds come into nest and other wildlife on there, such as bittern, great crested grebe, reed warblers, tufted ducks, swans, skylarks, geese. Also barn owls, deer and foxes. All of these have been spotted at the nature reserve. What is this going to do with them with the rise of vermin and gulls? Some of these wildlife are really endangered. Also the River Wye will also have the recycling plant letting chemicals into the river and sewage in the river. And see now this, Fleetwood is being used for a dumping ground, literally. I've been to the landfill myself and seen water flowing down from the tip directly into the river. It is a state up there. I took some photos and we have drone footage on the group that Scott and Neil got. It looks terrible. From looking at the EA reports, it doesn't seem they are complying. So what are the EA, WBC and LCC holding them to account? What exactly is going on here? What is this that's going into the river? There has been an 11,000% rise of complaints, well, phone calls to the EA. The EA have confirmed very strong odours have been detected off site. Why haven't they told us what they are? They have said they consider this to be a breach of permit conditions which could have a significant environmental impact. Why isn't the site being managed better? EA have been up there a lot of times, so why isn't anything being done here? Why did LCC grant permission to the site without any local residents being aware of this? I know WBC objected to this. We have been told by Trans Waste this is a temporary measure, but this isn't the case at all. When it's been a mild spring day, the smell goes all over. It doesn't even matter which way the wind is going. Imagine the summer. I think Trans Waste have proved they're not here to be good neighbours. Personally, all I think Trans Waste cares about is the money, not people's health, wildlife and the environment. The gull presence isn't good because they are landing on waste that contains all sorts of germs and flying off into the docks, landing on handrails, contaminating it and wherever else they land. Trans Waste want to be good neighbours but have exposed us to these odours. What more do WBC need for a statutory notice on Trans Waste? I sent the pictures I took to LCC and they replied saying, unfortunately, LCC don't use the landfill and have no relationship with the operator. The EA are the regulators for the site and that our concerns should be addressed with them for investigation. But they okayed this in the first place. But I've learned they do have power to revoke the planning. This was an email from Christopher Wicks from LCC, awaiting reply back from this. So why do they not want to do anything about it? I think we are all just fed up of people passing this off onto somebody else, saying it's their concern and nothing getting done. I spoke to Graham Miller from the EA yesterday on a phone call. This is when I thought they were coming. And I appreciate him answering some of my questions. He said they have had officers out on site almost every day, which is reassuring, to assess the odour, and the odour is their main cause of concern at the moment, and low levels of hydrogen sulfide have been found. I think this is having an impact, I think this is having an impact on people's health personally, and is at high levels, but I'm no professional. Just seeing what the odour is doing to people's health on a daily basis, on the group and personally. He was sympathetic to these concerns. Of course he was. Yeah. I know the EA are not health experts, and he did urge anybody with any issues to go to the GP or phone 111. I asked him about some of the car forms. I asked about tipping in a tipping bay that is not in the permit in phase 1, and it capped and closed, and he said the EA asked him to stop straight away as it wasn't in the permit. They served trans waste, and they served trans waste with a suspension notice. The permit has now been lifted as they complied with what was asked. This was one source of the odour that has now been sorted, he said. I asked, do you know how long it's going to be about the capped area to be resolved? He said it's going in the next week and hoping for it to be finished at the end of this week or the beginning of next, he said, but the EA can't confirm this due to just advising trans waste. Knowing trans waste probably months, in my opinion. I mentioned I think trans waste should be shut down as the impact on people's health. I asked what would it take for them to be shut down as many breaches have been made. He said he used their enforcement powers last week to suspend. If they lifted that suspension, it was lifted a couple of days later. He said it wasn't a straightforward question. It always remains a threat to us to use to suspend a permit if needed. It is quite a high bar that has to pass certain legal tests for us to suspend a permit if needed. It is quite a high bar. Yeah, I've just read that bit. It is required, becomes more complicated when it comes to landfill, because if we shut down a landfill and stop them operating, we're at risk of that site being abandoned, and in case we will become in a worse situation than it was before. So at the moment we are requiring for them to put in more landfill gas management control, but they were to shut and not unable to make money and have to abandon the site. They wouldn't be able to do that at all, and we would put those controls in place. This is from the notes I took. This is back to what I'm saying. This doesn't make sense to why they are still able to let odours escape into the air and making people really ill. But he said the EA will suspend if required. I'm sure more people have questions also. I think now, I don't know what more is required as people, so I feel like some of my questions were answered, but some were not really any further forward with trans waste not complying to what the EA have set out to them to do. This is a massive concern for many, and how many people is it going to take to get ill, wildlife affected, the environment to be destroyed before something really gets done. This has been going on for weeks now, with over 500 people complaining. People are having to stay indoors with their windows shut, and we all know this is going to get worse in the summer months, so something needs to be done now. Councils must serve abatement notices on people responsible for statutory nuisances or on a premises owner or occupier. If this is not possible, this may require whoever is responsible to stop activity or limit it to certain times to avoid causing nuisance. It can include specific actions to reduce the problem. The EA controls some potential statutory nuisances like smell and noise and dust with the environmental permits as part of the pollution control. I really do think there is enough evidence for this. Lastly, and I think most importantly, what is concerning the people of our town is what the impact is having on people's health. It's okay for the Environment Agency to put out information that they don't believe that the hydrogen sulfide that they have detected in the atmosphere isn't high enough to cause health issues. But when the doctors are getting a lot of similar health problems and are aware and logging people's medical records that they live near the landfill, then questions need to be asked. We need answers. Surely the doctors need to be taking action on behalf of their patients who have a duty of care and log this with the relevant government authority, which I believe is the UK Health Security Agency. Has this been done? When this amount of people are affected, the local doctors, and I believe Dr. Spencer is in charge of coordinating this. I had a hard job getting answers to my question about the air quality testing that the Environment Agency has done, but surely the test must be getting done on just what else is coming from the landfill site. But that hasn't been addressed, or I haven't had access to the right information. I believe that transparency is called for here, and we have a right to know the information that is causing a lot of people so much anxiety and health problems. Transparency being the key word here. Just how was this decision made to give planning permission to reopen the landfill? I believe this was done at a closed meeting at LCC, and local businesses and neighbours to the landfill weren't consulted. Well, that has been contested by a number of local businesses and neighbouring properties. Was due diligence done on this? I, for one, would like some answers from Lancashire County Council, who are very quiet on the matter and are saying that this is now all down to the Environment Agency. They were the ones who originally granted planning permission. Surely they have to take some responsibility if this is affecting people's lives and livelihoods. Being the council have allowed this to happen to its constituents. Lancashire County Council, your lack of concern for your constituencies has been noticed and picked up by the reporter who read the article that was on iNews. We would like some clarification. I know this is a town meeting and these questions are not directed at the FTC. These are just questions as the community that need answering. We would appreciate any help, because we're all fed up with this. You know, if anyone wants a copy of this speech, this is just the last little bit now. When I spoke to Graham Miller from the EA on the phone yesterday, he confirmed someone from the EA was going to be here as he wanted to create trust within the community. I sent an email asking why the EA not showing up, and he said when he was invited he was under the impression that there was a meeting with the town councillors only. However, this being open to the wider public, we do not feel it is appropriate to attend on our own without Transways present. With the community on our own without Transways present, we would normally encourage engagement groups involving the operator, and they want to set this up. When I spoke to, and they want to set this up, is what I said. When I spoke to him yesterday on the phone, I said I was going to be there, in my opinion, just one massive stalling tactic, so we won't care anymore. He definitely knew that it was a public meeting for sure, so that's what I've got to say.
Thank you.
Well done. And just to follow up on what Jess said, I finally had first contact with the Environment Agency yesterday after I sent them a really snotty email, because they put on the website that they were in touch with councillors and MPs, and we have had no contact with them at the town council whatsoever. So
I have an at Wire and it's my ward. So,
yeah, they're very
good enough at all, is it?
They very quickly sent me an email back and rang me straight away. I think they realised that they were in trouble.
It's all right for them to poison us every day.
Yeah. So I had a Teams meeting with them this morning, and that's when I found out. Well, found out yesterday they were coming. Found out this morning they weren't coming.
They're running scared. That's why.
They've sent me the presentation that they were going to do tonight, which I put on the Facebook page. If anybody wants a paper copy, I'm more than willing to print them out and pick them up from the town council office whenever, between 9:30 and 3. tomorrow and Thursday. I can print your copies out, but it is on the Facebook page. There is some new information on there that I certainly haven't seen before, but it's not good enough.
Well, we're not getting the answers we need.
No,
That place
no.
needs closing down.
And I think we need trans waste need to be in the room to answer
I'll go
questions.
to see trans waste.
Yeah.
I'll
So
go.
how we do that, I don't know. The Environment Agency told me, I think it was a lady called Lisa I was speaking to, told me that they are trying to set up a meeting at Wyre Council because they think that meeting would be more controlled because they didn't trust me to control this meeting.
They want to be scared of us. Yeah, they do.
I managed to control a meeting with 200 people last month about the new Boston Hotel, but apparently I wasn't good enough to control this one. So we'll see what happens. I'll be pushing them for a meeting. If it has to be a town meeting here in the ballroom, I'm more than happy to do that, but I want trans waste there, I want the Environment Agency there.
Well, I can see direct action happening because nobody's listening to
No,
Fleetwood.
and I want the UK HSA there as well. I think we need to get everybody in the room so they can all answer our concerns.
What about Lancashire County Council?
And Lancashire County Council.
Can I just say, on behalf of the council, I also wrote to Lancashire County Council and did a formal complaint. I have had a response. I had it about 3 days after I sent it that said they will get back to me on that within the next 22 days.
For those of you who don't know me, I'm a registered medical practitioner. I was a consultant in occupational medicine. So my expertise is in risk assessment and the impact of chemicals on health, work on health, which expands then into environmental health. Jess told me a comment that one of the environmental health officers had mentioned at Wyre Council that actually odours don't impact on your health and your mental health isn't that important. Well, can I say right now that actually living in a place that smells like a stink bomb, where you are virtually a prisoner in your room, as Jess just said in her speech, is detrimental to your health, it's detrimental to your mental health, it's also detrimental to your physical health, because actually you need to be going out, you need to be exercising. And also hydrogen sulfide is a dangerous chemical. The problem we have here is nobody's telling us how much is in the air. Now, I live on the opposite side of the peninsula to the landfill, and it smelt like there was a stink bomb in my garden. Now, that's not a little amount, is it? And it's a good mile away from the site.
It even gets into your homes.
Yeah, it does, it leaks in. And can I just make a second thing? An abatement notice. Under law, abatement notice can be made by a local authority or a private individual. Well, can I suggest that if Wyre Council aren't going to do it, that we do it as a group and maybe ask Fleetwood Town Council to help with some funding to do that? Because actually, I would say over 600 complaints to the Environment Agency, most of Fleetwood smelling like a stink bomb is surely enough for a statutory nuisance. And I think Wyre Council on the backside, and they're just waiting for the EA to do something, and the EA are waiting for the Wyre Council. Now, the other thing about the EA, you might have noticed that you aren't people, you are receptors. They don't give a damn about people. It's all about receptors, legal limits. No, they need to start thinking about what's happening. And, you know, I thought I'd be top of the notch here with my sewage, but you've trumped me on this one.
If Wyre Council say it's nothing to do with them, why did they put a warning to tell Fleetwood residents to stay inside?
No, it is something to do with them.
Thank you.
The other person that wants to speak tonight is Pam, that was informed.
Yeah, it's just 4 minutes, that's all
Yeah,
I've
you're
got.
all
Sorry. My name's Pam Diamond and I live 0.4 of a mile from the landfill site. I think we can all agree that when it comes to the smell, it really is truly awful. And regardless of what the Environment Agency have said they've done with trans waste, I don't think that has actually altered it one iota. It still smells awful. Visitors won't want to come back to Fleetwood after being assaulted by the smell. It will affect local businesses and holiday parks. And it doesn't help with the Wyre 10-year plan for Fleetwood. Someone has clearly not consulted the Fleetwood folk about this. The question was asked of Jonathan Fail of Wyre Borough Council, asking how many complaints are legally required before the site is deemed a statutory nuisance, rather than a potential statutory nuisance. Apparently there's no set number for an incident to be deemed statutory. Who makes that decision? Can it now be declared as such? Our sense of smell is there to warn us of what is bad or dangerous, to make us avoid it. For air to smell, it must contain molecules, bacteria, pathogens or gases. Could the gases be acrylonitrile, dimethyl sulfide, methane? What tests have done? If you don't test for it, you won't find it. The recent EA report talks about the type of odour. They mention that the smell of hydrogen sulfate in the air does not automatically mean it is harmful. We've just heard now. Many people are suffering with similar health issues of eye irritation, nasal irritation, nausea, breathing difficulties. Can they categorically state that these health issues are not due to pollution?
No.
What evidence do they have? What testing and evidence do they have that it is only hydrogen sulfate and not anything else? And what happens to hydrogen sulfate when mixed with water? For any sort of schoolgirl chemists, H2SO4, sulfuric acid.
Yeah, exactly.
It's next to a river and a nature reserve.
Yeah.
What tests have been done on the leachate, the river? Why do we see pipes being thrown over the side of the landfill site each weekend to drain it of fluids? Where did those fluids go? They look as though they're draining right into the nature reserve and the river. We may have rare species in the area. Sorry, we've got many rare species in the area. We all know it. Jess just listed a whole load of them. It's lovely around there.
Yeah.
It's a site of special scientific interest. Prior to approval of planning permission, it was suggested that a species report was done. We don't know if this was carried out or not. If not, why not? Surely after the ruling of the people over wind, it should have been done, considering it is next to a protected river, a bay and a nature reserve. And is a further survey going to be done now? And what will the impact be seen from that survey? How are the new technologies that are being talked about going to impact positively on the site, and when is this going to happen? And to quote Transways, Transway recognises its responsibilities and obligations to the local community and the wider environment for its environmental impact. I don't think one person in this room actually believes or recognises their mission statement.
Yay.
They talk about working with the community in the future. Does that mean this is a long-term problem, not a temporary one as they are saying? How long is it going on for? Their absence from this meeting evidences their disdain for the residents. What is the cause of the problem? Is it the waste that is being delivered, the gases that have been uncapped, or what is already on site? Is anything being removed from site? Is it one particular cell that's causing the problem? If so, how long will it continue to cause a problem? Should that cell ever have been reopened? Should LCC have been more aware of the impact of its reopening? Under riparian rights and obligations, it is the landowner who must maintain and be responsible for the waterways and ditches adjacent to their land. They must prevent runoff from their land. LCC owned the landfill site. They granted the permit, so are they not ultimately responsible for their permit holders if they incur a nuisance to the very people of the county who in essence own that land? Because we are Lancashire. We pay the wages of the county employees.
Yay.
And they have a duty of care to us, Lancastrians, to protect both us and the environment from pollution and damage to our health.
Well said, Pam.
That they've been drilling down yesterday to put some new gas extraction.
Well, that's the
equipment
point.
in.
Where they've done
Yeah.
some, they've got stuff on
Yeah.
order, that's what I was told,
Yeah.
and they would be doing more. But again, you know, you should be notified.
Last
We're
night
doing
was
some
absolutely
pipe work, it's say a week's duration, so there might be disturbance then, and then it'll be collected. That's the type of details that you want.
My dogs were refusing to go out, never mind anybody else.
If it's poisonous, what is it
Yeah.
doing to our animals?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I took Molly out the other day, came back, I thought, why is it in the house? Why is it in the house? The dog's covered in steam.
Yeah.
It's just not right. This has to be closed.
Have you finished it?
Pretty well, as I say, those are the points I would say to follow up.
Yeah.
And they were the points that I was going to get at them about. So at least I knew that the Environment Agency had at least been instructing them
Yeah.
on the points that I was trying
I think the report I've seen, and I think somebody shared it on the Facebook page, that there's been 4 breaches, but none of them were a category 1. I think there was a category 2, but no category 1s now to me.
Breach is a breach.
A breach is a breach, yeah.
Actually, the older one went from a C3 to a C2 while they were under threat of enforcement action by the Environment Agency. So that tells you how much trans waste are
That's
listed
how
to the
much
Environment
they
Agency.
yeah.
But I think what people really want to know, and what the Environment Agency hasn't released yet, is what is in the air.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You know, and we do have a right to know this.
Because we've been looking into buying some pollution monitoring equipment, but it's an absolute minefield. There's so much stuff out there, and there's stuff that only detects one gas. There's stuff that can detect
but we have
gases.
to do this.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, the Environment Agency.
You need to push them to do grab samples.
Yeah.
Gas samples on a very regular basis.
They
But they are different ones to test.
Once a week they're doing
I
the.
put a free
Not
information
frequent
request in
enough.
2 weeks ago for
It's
what
the way.
the testing that they were doing, and they still haven't come back to me.
If you don't know the gas that you want to be tested, you can't. You have to buy the
can't
test kit
decide
for the
about
gas.
it.
So you have to have the knowledge before you do it.
We can't be poisoned. We're all being poisoned. I know the wheels of you big wigs turn slowly, but you have really got to get your shit together. Sorry, stop the swear bomb. You have to get it together. We the people of Fleetwood, we don't want to live like this.
No.
I came to this
Fleetwood as well.
I chose to move here. I'm an incomer. I care about this town. We need to get together and stick together and get this place shut.
Absolutely.
If there's any sort of problem, they should be shutting the place
Thank
down
you. Shut
first,
it.
Yeah.
and
Close
then,
it.
then dealing with
prove that it's safe
Yeah.
before they reopen it.
Yeah.
That
Should have
is
done that in the
simple-
first
That
place.
is the simple end of
Should
story.
never reopen.
It's 4 years of rotting rubbish they've opened up.
Yeah.
And we don't even know what's in there.
Hi. I live very close to the site. Our estate is
0.5 of a mile.
Yeah.
very close. My children go to the local high school, Carnallen, and today was the first time that my daughter said she could smell it within the school.
In the classroom.
And I'm appalled. I want some answers to what's
Yeah.
going on,
Yeah.
because why should my children and everybody else's children be poisoned? You know, it's bad enough for us adults, but why should the kids have it happen to them?
Yeah.
I mean, they've got the whole lives ahead of them.
It's horrible. Horrible.
You
We were
know.
told, Jess was told on the phone yesterday by the guy from the Environment Agency that a lot of the smell was to do with the double tipping. Like they've not got the room up on top of the landfill site, so what they were doing is they were dumping it,
So stop doing that.
and then getting it picked up again, and then they were tipping it.
Well, I
Now
thought they were
that
told
was the
us
breach that got them a 2-day ban.
Two
2-day ban. In that 2 days, that 2 days with 45-mile-an-hour winds, and no one could smell it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
in the
You know what I
air, we
mean?
couldn't
Yeah.
smell
So
it.
there was no complaints. I mean, some of us were still ringing here
I was.
just for the sake of it.
Just for the sake of
Yeah.
it, mate.
But do you know what I mean? That's the sort of breach that why can't you be served on that?
Yeah. I know.
That's the sort of answers we want, really.
Yeah.
I mean, especially as the action group, like.
Madam Chairman,
So can you just
Come on.
there has been an issue on this landfill site or tipping area for a long time.
Yeah.
And the problem of leachate should have been addressed years ago, but it wasn't. The wastewater treatment works would not take any leachate off the tip. They simply said, we can't handle it, we've got enough to cope with on our own. So then we have a situation of all the foul water that's on that tip, where is it going?
Straight into the mouth.
Now, the fact is, that tip was originally it's what you call, when the train was coming into Fleetwood, there was a hall there called Jameson's Hall. So the train line was built one way, built another, they couldn't cross Jameson's Hall. So there's a massive gap in that wall, and that's where all the leachate goes out into the river wire. And that is a major problem.
Yeah.
The other thing that they don't address correctly is when those wagons come off that tip, they are absolutely full of mud and rubbish that they bring off with it. It's deposited on the road, when it all dries out, where does the mud go? Straight into the atmosphere, and it blows all over the place. And that has never been handled properly, and it's not good. So one way or another, there's some good points been brought up here, and these individuals should get together and really go to town on them in the right way, you know.
Thank you.
Because I've not had a chance to read the report yet, if they've stated what times that the environmental agency's been out and conducted their testing. Because me personally, I've encountered it very bad late at night when I'm travelling home from work, etc., maybe around 11 PM, and a certain area of Fleetwood around Man's Way, the saturation just being
full, yeah.
So I've rang on a couple of occasions and explained that I had a genuine concern because of the level, and was there an out of hours service that could go and check the air quality at that exact time. So I just wondered if it could be asked if the environmental agency have somebody that could go out during the evening and test out of hours when there is a genuine concern. When I spoke to them, I said it's that bad tonight in this area that it kind of takes your breath away. And I said, I feel like I know it sounds silly, but I said I feel like I should bring the police because it felt like a gas leak. And he said, well, if you feel like you should bring the police, I haven't cordoned off, that's like you. And I said, no, I'm ringing you. I said, I'm saying I'm ringing with a concern, and if you've got an emergency officer that could head out now, this breach you're saying you've got, I think the levels would be much higher than what the testing
They only want to test when the wind's here, so they can't smell it, mate. That's the only
I
time
had
they
a
come
test on
around
Gamble
here.
Road for a gas leak last Saturday night, and it was basically just, I said to him, turn around, breathing, and he just went, oh right, it's Landfill, and walked off.
So yeah, timings of when
It does, I don't know if it's just been, but it does seem to be worse at night.
It settles, as it gets cooler, the air settles and it just pushes it down.
It seems to be they don't want to pay no one for the night shift.
Yeah.
They need to do continuous monitoring. Or a continuous automatic monitoring. That's what you need to do.
I live up next week at Fleetwood High School, and even over there, it's been absolutely disgusting.
It's awful,
it's awful, yeah.
That is why Borough Council have got a clean air pollution policy, haven't they?
And I don't know if the environmental agency have been out and conducted their testing. Because me personally, I've encountered it very bad late at night when I'm travelling home from work, etc., maybe around 11 PM, and a certain area of Fleetwood around Man's Way, the saturation just being
awful,
So I've rang on a couple of occasions and explained that I had a genuine concern because of the level, and was there an out of hours service that could go and check the air quality at that exact time. So I just wondered if it could be asked if the environmental agency have somebody that could go out during the evening and test out of hours when there is a genuine concern. When I spoke to them, I said it's that bad tonight in this area that it kind of takes your breath away. And I said, I feel like I know it sounds silly, but I said I feel like I should bring the police because it felt like a gas leak. And he said, well, if you feel like you should bring the police, have it cordoned off, that's what you. And I said, no, I'm ringing you. I said, I'm saying I'm ringing with a concern, and if you've got an emergency officer that could head out now, this breach you're saying you've got, I think the levels would be much higher than what the testing
They only want to test when the wind's here, so they can't smell it, mate. That's the
I
only
had
time
a
they come
test on
around
Gamble
here.
Road for a gas leak last Saturday night, and it was basically just, I said to him, turn around, breathing, and he just went, oh right, it's Landfill, and walked off.
So yeah, timings of when
It does, I don't know if it's just me, but it does seem to be worse at night.
It settles, as it gets cooler, the air settles and it just pushes it down.
It seems to be they don't want to pay no one for the night shift.
They need to do continuous monitoring. Or a continuous automatic.
Because I live up near Fleetwood High School, and even over there, it's been absolutely disgusting.
It's awful,
It's awful,
That is why Borough Council have got a clean air pollution policy, haven't they?
I don't want to
continuous monitoring. They put continuous monitoring up in Colton Town Centre.
When they get traffic about
They can do it here.
I think the nearest air pollution monitor that I've seen is at the on the way to Cleveland's.
Russell Road.
Yeah, that's the nearest one that I've seen.
Surely should have one in town by now.
Well, I think so. Right, so
It doesn't matter, we're better, we're Fleetwood, we can stand together.
We will stand together.
Hiya, just one thing, why is it now that we can't enjoy the front or on the prom and everything, so we have to go into Blackpool now to get fresh air? stuff out of order.
Shocking that
Swearing isn't allowed, by the way. Please don't swear.
Excuse me, can I just ask a question? Possibly you won't be able to answer it at this present moment, but if this continues, will it not have a detrimental effect on house prices and sales?
It's going
definitely
to
already
affect
will be.
It's going to affect tourism, it's going to affect businesses, it's going to affect everything. Because who wants to come to a town that smells like rotten eggs or rotten onions?
And I had a rat in my garden on Saturday, and I've lived up on Lorcombe for nearly 30 years. I've never seen a mouse up there, but Saturday, a large rat, brown rat in my garden. Now, is that possibly coming from that area?
Yeah. Because we've had reports of rats on the harbour village.
And the rats will eat all the brown nesting birds.
We've had rats in front there.
Okay, so my name's Councillor Robbie Rayner from Russell Ward. Some of you will know me from previous meetings. I know speaking to Ian before now. The job that I do involves tanker work and it involves doing sewerage. And the company that I work for used to do leachate. We've had tankers and tankers full of the stuff in our yards, going wherever it goes. And I know several places that do take leachate. I know Fleetwood won't take leachate. Fleetwood you won't take it because that's not what they're designed for. They are not designed to process leachate. There's David Hume in Manchester, which is a UU site, can take leachate. There's CSG, which is also in Manchester, which takes leachate. That's 2 sites. I know they take leachate. CSG do leachate from another tip themselves. We need to find out why Transwaste have not got a tanker company taking leachate direct from site to somewhere that can process it.
Probably costs.
Because it does cost.
Yeah.
But
Cutting costs they are.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Of course they are.
But it's causing detrimental effect to the environment, which means they have to have a measure in place.
Yeah.
The measures they have in place aren't suitable, so EA need to address them sooner rather than later. I've done confined space work, so I've done gas monitoring training, I've used gas detectors. I've been in somewhere where my gas detector has gone off for H2S, and that didn't smell nearly half as bad as what Fleetwood has been smelling recently. I have been in places that you would never want to be in, and I have never known a smell like it. I have been waist deep in a pumping station for United Utilities.
I think the question you have to ask is, nobody recognises this smell. Nobody can even imagine what it's like until you smell it. Is it coming from something deep underground that was put there years ago?
Yes,
I think
It is literally just a build-up of gas. What'll happen is they have a layer of the old stuff and then they put inert waste on top of it, which is supposed to absorb the smell and stop the smells coming out.
but it rots more then.
The stuff on top that isn't supposed to decompose has been disturbed.
Yeah.
So all the stuff underneath that has decomposed is now letting all the gas out.
Yeah.
They should not have done what they've done without more measures in place. They should have had more air control measures in place before they disturbed that top layer.
So can we get it to go?
Surely they should be shut down.
Yeah, they should have been shut down. The minute that first happened, they should have been shut down until the air purification system was in
We've
place.
done an independent test. I mean, literally with a mate from a university who's a scientist, and that showed stronger levels than the EA's did.
The problem is the EA are only doing tests from the thing that's been posted on the group. I've been reading it. So while Jess was speaking, I might have looked like I was on my phone ignoring her. I wasn't. I was actually going through the EA thing. So while people are talking, I am doing other stuff, and I'm Googling other stuff to remind myself what it is like leachate, what's in leachate and how it's formed. They're only doing tests once a week, and they have not, on that thing, they haven't actually told us any results on there of what they've done yet.
All you get
They're
is
just
blah blah.
they're gonna keep us informed.
Have they addressed the surface leacher that's going off?
Nothing.
It's running straight off.
No.
Well, maybe we should be doing a formal complaint to the EA to say you're not serving this community, because we should be having continuous monitoring on the leachate, on the air. We should be getting better feedback. In fact, I'll tell you what, I rung up to the EA to complain about the smell, and I said it smells like H2S to me, and she laughed at me.
Wow.
She laughed at me. And can I say another thing? I've also found the meeting from 2019 of Lancashire County Council Development Control. The name of the cabinet members who were there who allowed this permit to be amended are on that.
Yeah, they are.
And it's private. It's confidential, and you can't get anything to it. I think that's horrendous. I think that needs to be coming to the public domain now. And I really do feel this is a legal matter. We should if Trans Waste really wanted to resolve the situation, we wouldn't be sitting here now. It would be resolved. And if the EA wanted to resolve it, we wouldn't be sitting here, because the EA have allowed the situation to get worse and then still just said, oh, well, we might take some enforcement. That says to me there is no will to actually do anything, and they're quite prepared for us to spend the next 18 months smelling like a stink bomb.
No,
So,
it's open till 2033 if you look at the paperwork.
But why isn't our council stepping in
Yeah.
now?
Well, who's going to close it?
Yeah.
We have got elected
Absolutely.
councillors without doing anything.
Who is going to close the site?
The Wyreborough Council put an abatement notice on it tomorrow.
Yeah, they could.
Or Lancashire County Council. Either one will be happy with.
I don't care who does
We
it.
need
Just
to know
close
why
it
they're
down
not
site.
doing it.
Do you want to come in, Lorraine?
Yeah.
Right, so most people know me and know that I've recently lost my dad. It was his funeral on Friday, so I haven't been, although I have been around, I haven't been doing the work I should have done.
We've been sending you lovely messages.
I know you have. So I have been in talks today with the planning, Jonathan Haynes from LCC, who's telling me that sorry, I've got notes somewhere and I've like right. So he's telling me that it was Suez who closed it themselves because it wasn't making enough money, but they asked for an extension because there was room still left. Now, I don't know about anybody else, but I don't ever remember the smell being anything like that from the tip when it was being used before. So, when it came back to planning, and my understanding is it went to planning first before it went to the cabinet, but I could be wrong, that it was passed that it could be reopened again because there was more room, there was a void and there was more room. And then obviously all hell broke loose because Suez then sold it on to Trans Waste. Trans Waste is a small outfit, Suez is an international outfit, so they've got all the engineers and all the people that know how to do this sort of work. They've come along, they're trying to make a quick buck.
Basically,
mangroves.
That's it, yeah. And they've uncapped it. You never uncap one of these places, one of these things, because once the gases come out, it's how you contain it. And it's out. So, although I've been in meetings today and I might have been a little bit soft because it was my first day back, and Jonathan had said to me something like, well, they are going to inspect it. Wasn't aware that
We'd have to wind you up a
that
bit
they had a
more,
responsibility to inspect it.
To inspect that as soon as
I
it's
wasn't
usually
aware of that.
practical.
You've made me aware of that today. But they were coming after Easter.
What?
Maybe the week after or whatever. No, Easter is on Friday. I will take this straight to the Chief Exec tomorrow morning. I will take it there and I will have a discussion. But I needed to come and listen to you guys. I needed to know what we were going to do. But I'll go straight to the Chief Exec and tell them that we are being let down in this town.
Can you let us know tomorrow?
I definitely will. But let me do the email and I'll CC you into it, and then we'll then you know what I'm doing.
Yeah. Lorraine, can I also ask about
Yeah.
methane gas?
Yeah.
Because it seems to me that nobody's mentioned methane gas, which will be coming off that site, and the impact that has on climate change. Now, when that amendment to the permit was done, which we don't know what the amendments were because it's all under wraps, nobody seemed to have considered any impact on climate change, because not just the methane there, but the lorries that are coming over from Yorkshire.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So I think there's lots of issues here that haven't been considered and need to be brought out into the open.
People
They've
need
let
to
us
care
down.
about Fleetwood again.
Well, we care about it.
Yeah, we do.
We care about
There's
it.
some people that don't.
I think Wyreborough Council and Lancashire County Council have got a
I have to say, my understanding is so, and I don't normally defend
Wire.
Wire. I have to say that Wire did say that they didn't want the tip reopening, and Lancashire County Council went above them and reopened the tip.
But that was on the site, the look of it. They didn't it was a bit feeble.
Yeah, but it might have been feeble, but it was still there.
Yeah.
Don't object.
It's better than nothing.
It's better than nothing.
Yeah.
So, and I have to say that, you know, this is a massive can of worms, and we need to get on top of this and stick together and make sure that, you know, it stops, because it's all of us, you know. I mean,
We the people of Fleetwood.
we are the people of Fleetwood, and the people of Fleetwood, when we stick together, are bloody amazing. So let's get there and let's get this done. There's a lady at the back showing
There's the guy at the door.
Oh, there's a guy at the door at first.
Going back to the lady's valid point around the consultation being under wraps and for the renewal of the planning commission, were any of the members here part of that consultation?
No. I've checked that already. Oh, I'm on it, don't you worry.
I all seem to be in agreement here, the councillors, the people who are here.
Yeah.
And we all agree, basically, that what the problems are, but we're not getting any further forward. So I suggest that we should go directly to the top, to the health minister in Parliament, and talk to them. And I think that we should also get the health service here to back the problems that they know that these people in the town are having. Because we can all sit here and say it's not fair, we shouldn't be doing it, we need something or somebody, some strength and some representative to go to the top. That's what her job is. She's the health minister. She's supposed to be in charge of looking after the
It's Victoria Atkins. Victoria Atkins.
Yes.
Mum and Dad are both councillors on my council.
Yeah.
By the way, yeah, they are.
Irony amongst ironies.
Well, therefore, that needs to be pointed out. That needs to be pointed out because they've got an inherent interest.
Yeah.
So, where are we going to go? Are we going to try to get to the minister?
I'm going to go to everybody.